No. Well, I will just go ahead and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And, but Stan, you look like you could lead us in the
I could do that.
I love that very much. I get tired of hearing these.
I need to borrow your cane though.
I'll let you have one. I'd love to give it to you for good. Let me just share with you how our lunch will go, and then after Stan leads us in the pledge, we'll begin. First of all, we have a very full lunch. Besides honoring our amazing teachers, we have Vicki Hopper here. Vicki is our scholarship liaison with UVU, and they help our committee with choosing the scholarship recipients, and also they are the people who receive our scholarship money for disbursement. And besides just giving money for scholarship, there are other ways to donate to scholarships for UVU. So after we get into our lunch for a few minutes, Vicki, I'm going to turn the time over to you to come and tell us about these other ways of contributing to UVU scholarship fund, elder scholarship fund. And then after Vicki, we will go on with our teacher appreciation program. Right now, I invite you to take a few minutes and meditate, speak to the deity of your choice in prayer or whatever as we begin our lunch. And then Stan will do the pledge. Thank you. While they are all lined up here, ready to go, let us give a huge standing ovation to UVU Culinary Arts team. Thank you. They deserve that standing ovation. That is for sure. Thank you so much to all of you for the wonderful meal you prepare and serve on our behalf. And with that, we'll have Stan.
I'm right behind you.
Okay, lead us in the pledge, and then we will begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would be the kingdom of Hawaii, which I don't want.
We want you.
You can't believe my activist friends.
Can't believe what?
Hawaii was illegally overtaken by a rich businessman of America. And people actually alive today wanting to overthrow the American government so we can go back to the kingdom of Hawaii because he has come.
We want you to go on enjoying your meal, but just give us an ear here, and we will turn some time to Vicki Hopper to explain alternative ways of giving the scholarship fund at UVU. Vicki, come and share what you have.
Good knowledge, yeah? Supposedly,
Quiet all of a sudden.
just starting their salads.
All right, well, a big thank you to Dear Heart for helping me get set up here. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Vicki Hopper. I am the Director of Plan Giving at Utah Valley University, and I appreciate you welcoming me. ElderQuest is one of my most favorite groups on campus to meet with. Because we share something deeply important at UVU. It's a deep passion for learning at every stage of life. Today I'm here to talk to you about how you can extend that passion into legacy, not only through the ElderQuest Scholarship Fund, but honestly through any charitable cause that you care deeply about. These strategies that we're discussing today are universal. They help support students, families, communities, and organizations that you care the most about. So my role as the Plan Giving Director is to assist you with questions you may have regarding gift options, information about areas on campus that you may be interested in, and to provide resources for you to share with your preferred financial provider. All right, so,
Just a moment. Get it right back.
okay.
Doesn't matter. There it is.
There we go. Jared, I sure appreciate you.
Yours.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Now.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I want to begin right here at home. The ElderQuest Scholarship Fund helps non-traditional students, often adults returning to school, single parents, career changes, or individuals pursuing a lifelong dream. Many of you have supported the scholarship in the past, which has helped students like Lula and I achieve their academic and career goals that ultimately make a better life for themselves and their families. However, you may have asked yourself if there was a way that you could do more to ensure that the ElderQuest Scholarship continues helping students like Lume in perpetuity. All right. So people are often surprised to learn how easy plan giving is, and that there are many meaningful legacy gifts that cost nothing during your lifetime. So plan giving simply means that you decide today how you want your resources to reflect your values tomorrow. Most plan gifts fall into 3 practical categories that are easy, popular, and incredibly impactful. So there are tax-smart gifts made during your lifetime, legacy gifts that provide income, and gifts that cost nothing today, and we'll go over a few of those. There's not enough time today to actually go over the breadth of options that are available to you, but I do want to point to your folders that each of you received today. There are a lot of resources in there, one of which is a guide to gift planning, and it discusses many of the topics that we're discussing today, plus more. So I want to put that out as a resource. All right, so let's talk about a strategy that you can use right now to reduce your taxable income. So if you're 70 and a half or older, you can give directly from your IRA to a qualified charity like UVU. This is called a Qualified Charitable Distribution, or a QCD. So a QCD counts toward your required minimum distribution. It is excluded from your taxable income, which is the benefit, and can reduce your Medicare premiums. To give up to $111,000 per person per year, and that's of 2026. The IRS changes that each year. And it will immediately bless the lives of future Wolverines. So here's the simplest way to think about it. If you get the next one. Phoebe. Can you advance that here, Brett? Thank you. All right, great. So here's a really simple example to show for it. So since you're required to take your minimum RMD each year, if you already plan on donating to a charity, you can send your donation tax-free instead of receiving it as taxable income first. So as you can see in our example, if you actually give it directly to a charity versus taking it as income, you're looking at quite a significant value when it gets down to your taxable income. So you don't receive a donation receipt for it, but you do receive 100% of the benefit of making that charitable deduction. So if it's something that you're planning to do anyway, this is the best option to do that. All right. Can you go ahead and advance it one more? Okay, great. One of the things that you can do with your IRA is you can actually establish an annuity fund. So you could do annuity funds two ways. One is by using your IRA to go ahead and do that. So therefore it acts like a QCD, so it would reduce your taxable income. And then you would have payments to you over the lifetime, over your lifetime. Or you could sell an appreciated asset and establish an annuity that way. So an annuity is really great because it gives you the benefit of having income for life, and then when that time comes, then the rest of the annuity goes towards helping the cause that you care about. In this case, we invite you to do the Elder Quest Scholarship. For example, I want to share the story about Flora Duncan. So Flora is one of Elder Quest's original founders and a huge proponent of education. She supported the Elder Quest Scholarship by setting up an annuity. During her life, it provided a steady stream of income for her. She got to travel and go see birds and do so many wonderful things. And it fulfilled her goal of leaving a huge impact on the endowment and helping UVU students forever. So she left a significant impact on the Elder Quest Scholarship Fund, and we appreciate her for that.
Her daughter is here today.
That is wonderful. And where? Yeah, it's either Gail or Esther.
Right, and
Looking at my short glasses. Okay, well, hello. Hello, Flora, I miss her. Okay, so the next one that is the most common is called the bequest. So this is something you can establish in your will or your trust. It directs a portion of your estate to a charitable organization like UVU and allows you to make a lasting impact without affecting your finances today. So this option is very practical, as it doesn't impact your wallet now. You retain full control over your assets for life, and you can change your mind at any time. So benefits can be customized that fit your family and charitable goals. So you could either do just an actual amount that's designated, or you could do a percentage of your estate, or you could do a residual of your estate after all of your heirs receive their money or other obligations that you have. So in most instances with a will or a trust, with a bequest, you'll need to work with an attorney to set up that for you so that it's exactly the way that you like it. Our website does offer a free will planner. Inside of your packets, there's actually an estate planning guide, and I do have a digital copy of that too that I can email out, or you can get that off of our website. But it walks you through all the many questions that you need for your will, and it's just a very helpful tool. And this is something that is open to the public, so everything on our website is free and just provides some great resources. But there is a will planner on there that will create a basic will as well. So if you have grandchildren or children that you want to share that opportunity with, please do so. But no matter who you're working with, we do have some bequest language on our website as well that will help you walk you through so that it's actually the preferred language for whichever charity you choose to support. Okay, so beneficiary gift options. So a lot of people don't realize that this is available, but you can name a charity as a beneficiary on your IRA, your 401k, your DAF, donor advised fund. your life insurance policy, your investment or bank account, or a health savings account, without changing anything in your will. So just like a will bequest, you can name a specific amount or percentage or the residual. So it takes 5 minutes. You just complete a form with whoever manages that account for you, and it doesn't require an attorney. So it's a really easy way to actually leave something to a charity that doesn't cost you anything today. So why should we do this? So one of the reasons is retirement accounts, IRAs and 401ks, are very tax heavy when inherited by children or other non-spouse beneficiaries. So under current law, heirs must withdraw the full amount within 10 years, paying income tax on every dollar and many times bumping them up to the next higher tax bracket. The result is that much of your hard-earned earnings ends up going to Uncle Sam. So, but charities like UVU and any nonprofit are tax exempt. So that means that your full gift goes to charity, your heirs avoid the tax burden, and they don't have to pay those unnecessary taxes. So this is one of the most tax efficient ways that a person can give. Okay. And just as a side note, our website does have a search tool, so you can look up your IRA custodian or your donor advised fund custodian, and that it can help you there too. So the last one we want to talk about is a retained life estate. So another option to give is real estate. So there's 2 ways you can do that. It can include a second home, rental property, farm, or land. Donating appreciated real estate can be a smart way to support a cause on campus or otherwise, while potentially avoiding capital gains tax and receiving a charitable deduction. So if you're planning to sell a highly appreciated asset and are looking for an income from that, I would invite you to speak with an attorney about setting up a charitable remainder trust and see if that would be right for you. But if you want to retain your property and use it during your lifetime, a life estate gift might be a good fit. The option allows you to donate your home or farm to UVU now while retaining the right to live or use the property for the rest of your life. It's a thoughtful way to make a future gift without needing to change your current living situation and still receive a tax benefit. So let me share a quick story. One of our ElderQuest former members, Donna Crouch, was a retired teacher. She wanted to keep her home, but also she wanted to make a difference even after her lifetime. She arranged a life estate gift, and UVU was able to continue living, or she was able to continue living in her home comfortably during her lifetime. So after her passing, the proceeds funded 2 scholarships, one in her name and one in her daughter's name. And today those scholarships help non-traditional students overcome barriers so that they can pursue their dreams. That's the power of planned giving. It turns personal values into opportunities for others. All right. So I want to point out once again the folder that I gave you. Everything that's in the folder is also on our website, so we have it digitally. There are lots of resources on our website. We have the estate planning guide, the guide to gift planning, the free will creator, the search tools I mentioned before, and there is an extensive video library that walks you through setting up a will and why you need a will and all the questions that you may have. And then it also talks about the different types of gifts other than the normal cash gifts. So just a plethora of information for there. And then there are also examples in there as well as calculators, so you can kind of plug in your own figures and get a general idea of how a certain type of gift might benefit your particular situation. So these tools, like I said, are available to everyone and they are free. I'm here to address any questions if you have them, whether or not it's surrounding UVU. I am happy to help you in any way that I can. I am not a financial advisor though. We provide information and I invite you to take that information and talk to your preferred financial professional because everybody's situation is so unique. My role as Plan Giving Director is just to be here to support you. And if you have any questions about campus. So as we close today, I want to leave with you a simple invitation. Consider the impact that you want to leave, not just today, but long into the future. If ElderQuest has enriched your life, or if UVU has been a part of your story, I invite you to consider making it a part of your journey, whether it's through a bequest, a beneficiary gift, or an IRA rollover. So you can support future students and experience that same joy of learning that you found. I sincerely appreciate all the support that you've given to us in the past. With your combined efforts, you've helped nearly 150 students overcome barriers that, so that they can achieve their goals of gaining an education. As an action item, as you meet with your financial professionals, I encourage you to review your beneficiaries that you have listed on a regular basis to ensure that they and your will are up to date. So thank you for being a part of ElderQuest and letting me come and spend some time with you today. I'm happy to answer any questions, but thank you so much.
Well, hi everybody, welcome again to one of our beautiful luncheons. Wasn't today a killer luncheon? And that dessert is to die for. You gotta hurry up and eat it because it'll disappear before you know it. Oh, sorry. Y'all look beautiful today, and this is St. Patrick's Month, so be sure and remember your friends and family with St. Patrick's remembrances, and thank Judy Istuk for this incredible St. Patrick's display. Isn't it great? We strive to make every one of our events unbelievable. Okay, now, you guys who like to leave early, caution. Today's the day we honor our incredible teachers, and they are definitely incredible. I want you to know they've changed my life. I spent 15 years as multicultural director at UVU, and I got to tell you that over 80% of my non-traditional students were on straight scholarships, and they've gone on to become doctors and attorneys and business owners and community leaders. And every cent that you contribute to the welfare of UVU students, the non-traditional, underserved students will be rejoicing, and so will everybody in the community. Okay, and also I'm a very uncivilized Hawaiian. I want you to know that education has really sort of refined me. The other day I actually was walking around town and I couldn't get Schindler's List out of my mind because I've been in Martin Pond's class. And instead of being a crazy Hawaiian activist trying to overthrow the American government and become back in Hawaiian kingdom again, because did you know that Hawaii was illegally overthrown by some very greedy businessmen who were Americans? And I have activist friends over in Hawaii all the time trying to become back to the kingdom. But because of learning about the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, the World War II classes we all give here in ElderQuest, I am a born-again American. I'm grateful, so grateful. And I have to tell you, I really believe this is true. I think that you become a happier person with lifelong learning. I've learned to really appreciate theater arts because of our teachers. I've learned to really appreciate classical music, contemporary music. I've learned to fall in love with history. I've fallen in love with the horrible world we live in today, and how we can all get along even if we have different political viewpoints and educational backgrounds. I think it's just terrific that we have this ElderQuest Ohana. And if there's one word that wraps everything up, it's love. We love our teachers who love their jobs. Let me tell you, I did teach art history for one semester, and it is a job of love. The time you spend preparing for that class, getting all the visuals set up, and then, if it wasn't for Gerhard, we'd never be able to make it to square one. True. Well, today, don't leave early. I want you to hear how each one of these people will change your life and make you a happier person and a less angry one. We want to honor Judith and Leonard Turney. They've been giving us theater magic for years. And Cheryl Ralston is going to talk about them for a minute or so. Cheryl, where are you? Come on up here.
How many of you have been to their classes? The theater classes? Great.
Well, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, and I was honored to be asked, and I'm glad to see Margene here today, and I hope she's doing well. And this is my second year doing Elder Quest, and I really enjoyed it. I had never heard of it before, and Jane Ann told me about it and invited me to come, and I've been coming ever since. And the attorneys were in the very first class I took. And I've learned so much in their classes. The first one was about the movies in the World War I and World War II eras, and how much I learned because I didn't know even about a lot of those movies. And then learning about Agatha Christie, and I like to read, so that was great. And then the rivalries. I learned so much about rivalries this semester, and I think they're such sweet people. They banter with each other and tell jokes, but they make it so enjoyable, and they put so much work and effort into their classes. It's amazing, and I look forward to every Monday morning so I can come and learn more. So if you haven't been to their class, please come. It's great.
Thank you.
Good job. Are the attorneys here? Are they here? They're not here.
They were supposed to come.
Oh, shoot. Well, you gotta go there. They are so good at theater, everything. Okay, next on our list, we got Linda Knight, World War II. Do you know we love war in Elder Quest? We do. Oh, it makes you appreciate everything, especially life. And right now, we really need a lot of life going on in our country. But who's going to be talking about Linda is Robin Price. Where's Robin? Come on up.
Hello, friends. I may be the youngest in the room. I have to tell you that I stumbled upon Elder Quest when I came to the Provo Rec Center. My husband was in a senior adult daycare facility, so I needed to do something with my time. So I thought maybe I can go exercise, but I found something so much better than exercising. I found Elder Quest. I live in Lehigh, and I have been happy to make the morning trek when there's accidents, when there's policemen pulled over, and sometimes it takes 45 minutes from Lehigh. I was happy, so happy to come to these wonderful classes. Let me tell you about my experience in Linda's class. I have read about World War II. I've dabbled in it. I've watched Band of Brothers and other things. Linda's class was amazing because of the depth and the breadth that she covered. You can tell she's passionate about this. And she went and visited so many of those sites and added a personal reflection or a personal response to what she felt. Thank you, Linda. It was a wonderful education. Every single class, I learned so many new items, data points, and then you connect it all together into this terrible, terrible experience that our country went through. And hopefully we have learned a great deal because of what we've done. So thank you, Linda. You were worth the trek. Everybody was worth the trek on I-15 in the morning.
Yeah, it was Linda that got me to remember when I went to the Holocaust Museum in the U.S. and got to the very last room. I was so deeply emotionally moved that I broke down and just was sobbing in the last room. And somebody came up to me and said, "Are you Jewish?" And I said, "Yes." I've never had such an emotional experience in my life. So I made it to Treblinka and Birkenau and also Auschwitz and read every single book I could get my hands on. And how many of you have been to Linda's World War II class? Raise your hand. Look at all the hands. That's our biggest class. Everybody loves war. I'm serious. We learn so much appreciation, and you walk out of there and you're just grateful to be alive and grateful to be American and grateful to have learn this important lesson. Okay, number 3, we have Bruce Young, who isn't here today, but Wendell Christensen, where are you? He's going to tell you a little bit why he likes this class. And Bruce Young is teaching us Class O, fabulous songs about the 60s and 70s, which actually is after my time.
The 60s and 70s are right in our age group. Some of you are older than me, some of them younger. You know, we're right there. I remember, as far as Elders Quest, in 1960, 62, around there, they're building this big highway along the, before you had to just go to State Street to go to Salt Lake. And that big highway, it ended up being our freeway, I-15. And just east of that, they started a little school over here. It used to be a vocational school in Provo.
Utah Trade Tech.
Utah Trade Tech, right?
Yep.
You know, if you got a ticket, we had to go there and go to school. That's where I went anyway. But anyway, it grew into it used to be just a bunch of weeds and a little creek that run down there. It had a whole bunch of snakes and everything. And they built this school there. And the school got bigger and bigger, and it went to be a college. And now it's a university. And I've heard that it's got more students than any university in the state of Utah. And that's our Elders Quest School. And I'm so proud of it. As far as Bruce Young, what a fun class he has there. You know, we was all born in the 60s and 70s. We went to KOVO, was our radio station, KCPX in Salt Lake. In Oklahoma City, what was it, Judy? KOA. I used to listen to it in Orem. I could get that. You know, we're sleeping out. I'd get KOA. But that was our rock and roll stations back then. You know, in the 50s and the 60s. You know, that's where the Beatles changed the music, you know, that we listened to. We started having rock and roll with Elvis Presley and some of them. But the Beatles and then the 60s and all of them that came after that really changed the music. And Bruce Young is such a fun class because he don't just teach us these songs or remember these songs that we learned. We learn about who wrote those songs and what motivated them to write the song. You know, some of those songs were written in one day, and somebody had an inspiration, one of the Beatles had an inspiration and wrote the song in one day that sold millions and millions of copies that captivated the whole world. You know, and we learned that in Bruce Young's class. Bruce Young, we want to thank him. He's not here today, but we want to thank him for all he does for that class. And thank you for letting me.
That's true, it's a lot of fun. Then we have Martin Palm on Tuesday mornings. He talks about all of the famous, wonderful composers and opened up the whole world for me to understand because I didn't know about the wonderful compositions for themes for movies. Absolutely wonderful. So we have Ruth is going to talk about Martin Pond.
Hi. Well, our class was entitled Becoming Friends with Fabulous, Fantastic, and Famous Composers. We have listened to music from Aaron Copland, Richard Strauss, Igor Stravinsky, Tchaikovsky, John Williams of Salt Lake City Olympic fame, our beloved instructor Martin Pond, and others. Here are two examples. I just asked people in the class to give me, an experience or something that they've gotten out of the class. So I'm going to read them. Sorry. The first person said, "I have a grandson who is a fantastic artist. I personally do not seem to have artistic talent, So I marvel at my grandson's ability to visualize what he wants to draw or paint and then put it on paper or canvas or metal or whatever he decides to use. Martin Pond seems to have a similar wonderful gift to visualize and create music and then put it on paper. This semester he has demonstrated his ability to use famous composers' styles of composition. He combined hymns with classical music to create several pieces of creative, artistic, and beautiful music that we were able to enjoy. Music just seems to flow from him like art does from my grandson. And this is the second person. I think this is from last semester. She said, I learned about myself from Martin Pond's class. All my life, listening to jazz had made me feel muddled and intellectually inferior. My husband loved Dave Brubeck, and I wanted to feel the same. But I couldn't. I felt lost during some jazz classes. I recognized that these sounds left me feeling as I do when working to process directions, but this is different. When Martin Pond explained what was coming up next in some of the music, my brain could relax without trying to project what might be taking place in the future. Most of the time, I could enjoy the music if it wasn't too changeable and in tempo. My mind could float along with the sounds. Jazz is improvisation and variation, and it has rhythms. Listening to performers now, I can enjoy whatever floats into my ears. It's wonderful. Thank you, Martin. This semester we have listened to and learned about many of the great classical musical masters, including Martin Pond.
His compositions are absolutely incredible, honestly. How many of you have been to his class? Raise your hand. Wow. I hope he keeps coming back and teaching us because he has a wealth, as all of our teachers do, have a wealth of experience and knowledge and talent. They're just incomparable, and they do this all for free. They come and volunteer their hearts. There's so much love in ElderQuest. And then we all get together and all we do is kibitz and talk, and it's very hard for Marlene to even get up and get us to shut up so we can start the class because we're having so much fun. I was gone for 6 months because I was almost killed in an automobile accident and almost died in one of the attending operations. But I got all kinds of phone calls and text messages and gifts and cards, and oh my gosh, we have a real family of love in ElderQuest. And our teachers are the ones who love us so much by sharing everything they've got with us. Next on the list, we have Linda Tyler, Ancient Greece. And let me tell you, I want to be Greek too. Who's going to talk about Linda? We got Linda Key. Are you here, Linda? Good. You can see where we really do improve our lives, build dendrites, and get younger, not older.
Well, I want to give a shout out to all of ElderQuest. I told Judy I was so grateful when she introduced me to this group because I felt like it saved my life. I've studied scriptures, I've done all this and everything, but I wanted to be intellectually stimulated. And boy, have I been, and I really, really appreciate that. And then just like on Monday, when Judy put a call out for help, all of a sudden we turned around and there a slew of people came to help out. And we looked around and said, we really are a family, and we care about each other and really are there for one another. But I have to tell you, Linda, last semester, for some reason, I had gotten really swept up with Greece and read historical novels and other different things, and I was so excited about it. And I wanted to go to Greece so badly. And this was way before they announced that you were teaching. And so when I found out you were teaching, I thought, oh, I'll be able to share a little bit. And I can tell you that you have totally fulfilled the dreams that I wanted to learn about Greece. I recognize how much work and effort you have put into it. And you
are an excellent presenter, and you just sweep us away to the times and places, and I really, really appreciate it, and you fulfilled my dream. And I am so grateful for that and the wonderful work and effort that you have done.
It's true. And then we have Ernest Istook, who's teaching us about the American Revolution and our founding fathers. And wow, have I got an increased love for this country as a result. So we have Stan Clementson going to be talking about this class. Where are you?
Right here.
Oh, it's so good. I'm telling you, I'm so rah American. It's just amazing. I did not know that all the people who signed the Declaration of Independence went through such trials, lost so much of their personal fortunes and lives. I didn't realize that. There's been a lot of sacrifices made so that we have this legacy.
I appreciate the opportunity to talk about this class. I'm sure many of you remember your high school history classes, fact after fact after fact, so boring. But Ernest is a master storyteller. Now, if you really wonder why he's that way, I just wanted to read a couple of things. Elected to Congress in Oklahoma for 7 terms. He was a distinguished fellow with the Heritage Foundation, and actually was the host of their talk show where they interview all these different people, which they called Istook Live. So you can see he was involved in all these different activities, getting see how these people come together. Think of the people that established our articles of, Declaration of Independence and all the other part of the Constitution that was created, and they had to go through and live some of this stuff. He also was a reporter, news reporter, I think for a TV station when he was in college. And Judy just loves guys on TV, so that's why she ended up marrying him. Well, she got married when he was there, so anyway. And then this is an interesting one I thought would be a topic almost in itself. He taught at Harvard, Kennedy School of Politics, propaganda in American politics. Now, there's no propaganda this year, is there? And of course, he teaches political science at Utah Valley University, and he's also still a practicing attorney. So people never retire; they just keep going on and on and on. And so it's been a class. I've learned so much from that. I did not realize the revolution was more than a few years long, and it went on for a long time. So thank you for the class. And I think we got several topics for next year when you teach.
It's true. I used to be on the international lecture circuit, and I got to tell you, he is the king. He has the gift of communication, and he can share every bit of information up here with you. He's really good at communicating and presenting. And next we have Dion and Gerhard Roof, who are our wonderful teachers about remarkable people, exemplary people. And we're going to have Janet Harmon talk about them. Where's Janet? Oh. How many of you have been to Dion and Gerhard's class? Isn't it fun? There's something exciting every week.
There's a lot of remarkable people out there, and we've been learning about several of them. I've thoroughly enjoyed the class, and I know those that come have enjoyed it too. We get some real information from these different, and they're all different. Today was about a little India boy who was kidnapped and sold to somebody in the United States. They thought he was an orphan. He has a whole family back in India that was taken away from him. And that's just one example. They've all been wonderful classes, and they teach remarkable things about each people. So come Wednesday mornings.
Are you who do not attend classes feeling guilty? I'm hoping so, because you're missing out on a lot of exciting stuff. On Thursday in the morning, we have Brad Daw, and somehow he has kept us from ripping each other's throats out. Even we are in different political camps, some of us deeply embedded in different camps. We all love each other, and we get along just fine. So we're going to have David Wilson is going to tell us how Brad does it. And, you know, he's in politics himself right now. And it's amazing how he gives us this side, that side, in the middle side, and everything else. And it's just exactly what we need to keep ourselves happy and very much loving.
Brad, this could be a Dean Martin roast. So tempting. So tempting, dude. This is a chance for people to tune. What's that?
I got a whole hour and a half next Thursday.
I know you do. That's the rebuttal to what I might say. But just remember, I have the computer. I can turn that off. Suddenly we can lose the Zoom and nobody's going to know what Brad's been talking about. This is the class we get a chance to agree to disagree. And we do. We have a chance for good conversation, good debate, where Brad has a chance to literally keep track of a bunch of chickens, a bunch of cats, control the crowd. This is a class of yours. We get to understand a little bit better what the legislative process is. I don't think it's a process. It's like making sausage, and it's keep going on till midnight tonight. So we'll see what happens with our legislature. But Brad gets a chance to bring you politics, the world around us, the state of Utah, national and international activities. It is our class, not Brad's class. He controls what's going on. Here's the information for you, but you get to, as elder questers, bring the information to him. So Brad, I appreciate your patience, and yes, I will turn the microphone off you tomorrow.
And it's true, it really is. But you know, I need to pay homage to you, our ElderQuest members, who come to the classes so regularly and faithfully, and who share your expertise and your comments and your brilliant backgrounds and education and experience and talent and knowledge. We do have a lot of interactive learning in our classes, and we appreciate all the comments and the things you contribute. The members as much as the teachers, I really believe that. So thank you, those of you who are ElderQuest members who come to class. Pat yourselves on the back. Okay, now we have on Thursday at 1 o'clock Alan Keel. And he is teaching us about Beethoven's Sublime Fidelio. And we've got Donna Dalton, who will talk about this.
Can we hook that in there?
Sure.
That'll be good.
Stand here.
I will. I came prepared. I had no idea what this was going to turn out to be, but Margene, I think you were inspired. Because you made me do some thinking back over a lot of things.
Good.
Before I begin on Alan, could I see if Flora Duncan's daughter is here? Did I hear that one of the daughters was in attention?
Cindy Duncan?
Oh, no. My mom is Alwyn.
What?
Alwyn West.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, I wanted to say that. Not for you, but for me. Because Flora Duncan and David and Donna Dalton served in the Swiss temple together. And she made many trips with us in rented cars. We even went to Sicily together when we had break times from the temple. And so I'd love to have seen one of her daughters because Flora taught me how to be a birder. That's a woman who can see a bird a half a block away or flying and tell you what it is and is it a male or a female. Wonderful birder. But back to my responsibility that Margene gave me. And I have to begin with my notes. In 2022, during the height of the COVID plague, BYU Studies, how many know that book? BYU Studies. Well, it comes out an issue every year. BYU Studies did a full book on government and governing. And 3 of the articles were written by Dieter Buchdorf, know the name? Dallin Harris Oaks, and Melissa Dalton Bradford. Do you know her? Have you followed her Instagram? I see eyes going up there. That's my daughter. Well, now, to tell you why she was in that book and her connection to, what does it have to do with Alan Keel? We have to go back 40 years to the 1980s in BYU. Any of you got that number of years that you can go back on? 40 years? Oh, you do. At that time, our daughter Melissa earned her Bachelor of Arts degree in German, then went on a mission to Vienna, then came back and did postgraduate work in just German literature. Who was her mentor all the time? Alan Keel. Alan Keel. 40 years ago, we became very enmeshed with the German department at BYU, and Alan Keel and Hans Kelling and Max Rogers, who was my teacher for 3 years. That was my minor, German. Anyway, she came back and did that master's degree in literature. Now, if you can imagine, anyone here speak German? Oh, one hand. Of course. One hand. Her master's degree was in German literature, you can imagine. Goethe, Schiller, Lessing, and even Thomas Mann, you know, Death in Venice. Well, if you take good literature, you don't have to jump over a ha-ha. Do my people know what a ha-ha is? Well, if you remember when I told you what a ha-ha is, tell it to your neighbors. A ha-ha. You don't have to have a ha-ha between German literature and music, because your great composers are inspired by what they read, what they study, the literature. They choose the best. I mean, you can start with Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, Haydn, Handel, Schubert, Schumann, Wagner, Mahler. They've all read their German literature. And the beauty of the language and the beauty of the thoughts inspires their music. Well, Melissa grew up in a very musical family. In fact, she said one time, I grew up thinking that God was German. Because we always prayed in German. And that's true. Our children grew up knowing German, and they went on to do what they have done with the German language. Well, she had influences from other fine faculty members at BYU. Tom Plummer, Stephen Sondrup, and I could name more and more and more. But in the course of all of this, she had the advice and the mentoring from Alan Keel. How does he tie into that article that I told you about in 2022? It had been 40 years. He wrote her a letter. And the letter was so beautifully put together and so tender with the belief. He's a man who loves literature, language, and arts, and architecture, and, well, we can go on and on and on. The gospel, scriptures. And he has passion for each of those, and he brings it to his presentation. I see you nodding your head over there. Okay, yeah. He has emotion. Melissa said, I was so delighted to find that this was a mature male professor who could be brought to tears when he started speaking. You shaking your heads? He'd fight back his tears because it meant so much to him what he was sharing from the depth of his soul with students. You might say, what hath God wrought? Well, if Alma were here, I'd say, look what you wrought 40 years ago when you started in with my daughter. In the meantime, she has taught German at the MTC. She has taught German to the refugees from Syria. And this is the little pamphlet about it. All these people that they put a book together about those Syrian refugees who came into Germany during the time of Merkel. And Melissa taught them. They were given space in empty schools. They lived in dormitories. They lived in gymnasiums. And she went to them and she learned what they needed and the dangers and the sorrows they had come through to be in free country in Germany. Then, guess who she's now just finished teaching German to? Who else has become refugees and have been taken in by the Germans? The Ukrainians. I was with her for 3 months in Germany last winter. I went to every class that she taught, met those women and those men who will probably never return to their homelands. It's destroyed. They are a people of high education, of high cultural taste, of kindness and love for one another. Melissa would say, I would go sometimes and all the women would be crying. They'd gotten terrible news from Kyiv. Or they would be happy and excited because something else good had happened. So she knows all about that. I was going to present Alan's wife, okay, with one of Melissa's books. This is a book that is part of the substance of her daily 4 to 5 minute Instagrams that she's been doing for a year. But I'll give it to Linda later. And thank Alan from the bottom of my heart for what he has wrought for our family, for her, that he used his intelligence and all. I thank you, and I wish I could have found Flora Duncan's daughter.
Okay, thank you. After Ellen, we've got Dave Johnson, and he's here today. Give him a hand. You know, he and Lynn Williams have been helping us understand and love Shakespeare for years. And we've got a good person to tell you all about it. Carol Hinckley. Where is Carol?
Well, I am delighted to talk about the Shakespeare class. My husband and I started taking Dave's Shakespeare class years ago because my husband was such a good reader of Shakespeare. And we used to play the roles of Romeo and Juliet and Antony and Cleopatra and Benedict and Bernice together in his class, and it was so much fun. And this year we have been doing another romance, sort of. It was Troilus and Cressida. And I had never seen this play or read this play, but Dave has not been doing well this year, and so we have had a substitute, Lynn Williams, and he and his wife have done an excellent job of helping us understand this kind of complex play that doesn't end with the devotion of Romeo and Juliet or the passion of Cleopatra, nor the mocking romance of Beatrice. But this is not a traditional love story that doesn't end very well. So it was very interesting for us to go through this play together. And it kind of was a war movie. Had some of the Greek mythology in it. And after our class, our teacher gave us 2 poems. And I'd like to share one with you. Because we have been studying about war all year. Had he and I been met by some old ancient inn, we would have sat down to write many an appertain. But ranged by infamy and stared face to face, I shot him as he at me and killed him in his place. I shot him dead because he was my foe. Just so my foe, of course, he was. That's clear enough, although he thought he'd list perhaps of him like me, just as I was out of work, had sold his traps. No other reason why. Yes, quaint and curious war is. You shoot a fellow down, you treat if met, where any bar is, or help him with a crown.
Isn't that great? Leave it to a Shakespeare lover to read a poem. Oh, literary genius he is, and we still learn about Shakespeare. And how many of you have been to Shakespeare country in the UK? Incredible, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Yes, Stratford-on-Avon. Well, we have as our last Thursday teacher, well, we are out of teachers this semester, but we do want to honor Dave Farnsworth. Tall Dave. Are you here? Raise your hand. Yes. He has been teaching us about world religions. Really important to understand and appreciate, honestly. And Gloria Simons is going to teach us about that. Where are you, Gloria? Okay.
Well, I can really tell every single one of you that you all saved my life. My husband passed away, and I had a friend that, this has been 2 years ago. No, yeah, this month it will be 3. Anyway, she told me about Elder Quest, and I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. You know, I graduated from high school, thank goodness, and I took a couple of semesters at UVU, and I thought, okay, I'll just go and see what it's about. And I have learned to love Elder Quest, and all of you people have become my friends.
She's our next president.
Well, I want to tell you that Dave Farnsworth was one of the first teachers that I was able to view. And gosh, she hit the nail on the head, because I'm a convert to the church, but he taught about world religions, about the Muslims, about the Buddha, all these different religions, and I thought, yep, when you have that in your heart, you do something about it. And I just really appreciate Dave for his contribution to our classes. I mean, what an enlightenment that was for us to be able to learn about different religions and different customs. I surely did remember that, and am so grateful that you contributed with my stay at Utah and stay in Elder Quest. So first I want to thank all of you. All of the teachers are absolutely outstanding. I mean, when I first started, I thought, okay, I'll just go to this class or this class. Well, let me tell you, I went every single day to every single class, and I have been so grateful. Like I said at the beginning, Elder Quest saved my life. I think I would have been 500 pounds and trying to walk around, because I saw my mom do that after my dad passed away. She just sat in the house and ate cookies and did things, and she gained a lot of weight, and I thought, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So that's why I say Elder Quest has saved my life. So thank you, every single one of you, and if you don't come to the classes, I know everybody's busy. I think we're more busy now than we were when we had all of our children. But Elder Quest has something for everyone. So thank you, teachers, and thank you, Dave Farnsworth.
Wow, I didn't know Elder Quest was filling. You want to go on a diet? Come to Elder Quest classes. It'll do it for you. Wouldn't that be great? Wow. We can even eat carbohydrates too, and every morning you get free breads in the lunchroom. Did you know that? Fabulous, even from Neaters. Oh, come on Mondays if you want fresh bread. I'm not kidding. So thank you, all of you. There is one last couple we need to pay a tribute to. You want to be able to talk about them? Oh, we are going to talk about Robert and Jeannie Griffiths, who are not here today.
We don't have anyone, you go ahead.
But we have enjoyed their expertise on China and other parts of the world. So we're learning about many other cultures and many other countries. And of course they travel extensively. And they're going to be going on a mission, I believe. They're traveling right now. Where are they right now?
I think in Thailand.
And they come back and then they share all this experience with us. And you know, we don't all of us get a chance to travel. But boy, you can go anywhere if you go to Elder Quest and get on the boat in your mind and come back knowledgeable, feeling like you've spent no money and had a blast. So thank you all so much for coming and staying and listening to about our wonderful teachers. And please join us for the definitely important next luncheon, which is on the 26th of March. Come with your credit cards and your checks, please. Because you know what? You're going to change lives for UVU students. And I know I have seen for 15 years how these scholarships have changed lives and changed whole communities. So good luck to you, and we thank you for all your aloha, and thanks for staying this late. Mahalo nui loa.